This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2.
Yeah!
Player 3.
Yeah!
And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trevette.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. Made to measure. Player 1, you start us off. The tallest. Yes, Player 1? Right. Player 1, choose again. Never lived in Illinois. Okay, Player 1? Right. Please pick again, Player 1. Went to Occidental College and Columbia University. It's Player 1. Good. You again, Player 1. Received a patent. Yes, Player 1? You are correct. Player 1, pick again. Was born a British subject. It's Player 1. You are correct. Player 1, back to you. It's the vegetable term for a lazy fly ball that's easy to catch. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's not it. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the response we were looking for. A can of corn. Please pick again, Player 1. Inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame in July of 2007, he won 8 National League batting titles during his 20-year career. Player 1? Correct. Player 1, choose again. In 1962, this Dodger shortstop stole 104 bases, breaking Ty Cobb's 47-year-old record. Okay, Player 1? That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, Player 3? Hey, you're right. Player 3, start us. The MVP of the World Series receives an award named for this Yankee slugger. Player 1? No. Any other takers? It's Player 3. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? It's Player 2. Yes. Player 2, you start. Let's go to the Clue Crew for this next clue.
A good place to hit the ball is here, the traditional alliterative term for the center of percussion on a baseball bat.
Yes, Player 1? That's right, way to go. A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Golding. The boy with fair hair lowered himself down and began to pick his way toward the lagoon. Yes, Player 1? Right. Player 1, back. Charlotte Bronte. There was no possibility of taking a walk that day. Let's hear it, Player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? The correct response is Jane Eyre. You again, player one. From the Latin for almost last, it means, next to last. Yes, player one? That's it. Player one, back to you. This name for a work of art that you may carve in art class comes from the Latin for to carve. It's player one. No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. A sculpture. Player one, back to you for our next Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yes, player one? Good for you. Select again. The name of these small towers, often seen on castles, comes from the Old French for small towers. Player one? Good. Please pick again, player one. Reno, Nevada. Yes, player one? Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's what we wanted. Pacific. We return to you, player one. Akron, Ohio. Player one? That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. The Eastern. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Nellis Air Force Base has 70,000 solar panels, which produce 15 of these units, 25% of the base's summer power. Let's hear it, player one. That is correct. Player one, you pick again, please. Answer, the Daily Double. And you're in the lead now. Please enter your wager. Okay, here is the clue. Take a nibble if you want 4 of these binary units of computer code. However, you keep your lead. Here's the response we were looking for. Bit. Player one, choose again. Fitzgerald. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind. It's player one. That's not it. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, player three. Good for you. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player three. Make us Orwell. Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm had locked the hen houses for the night. Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. Where do we begin, player one? In Asia, use a gu if you want to measure a cup of this for an electric cooker. Okay, player one. No, sorry. Anyone else? Okay, player three. Right. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player three. Make us of about 30, 50, or 100 inches a year. The Earth's average annual amount of precipitation. Player 1? Right you are. All right, let's get back. This unit equals 4 inches when measuring an equus caballos. It's player 1. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Hand. Player 1, you pick again, please. Chat about this in your chat room. Chat is merely a shortened form of this 7-letter word. Let's hear it, player 1. You are correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Omaha, Nebraska. Player 1? Yes. You get to pick again, player
Tolstoy.
1. Well, Prince, so Genoa and Lucca are now just family estates of the Bonapartes. Player 1? Select again. If you say, I'm eating a hot dog with this, you could mean a chopped pickle topping or just plain enjoyment. Yes, player 1? You are correct. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. Vancouver, British Columbia. Okay, player 1? That's correct. Player 2 is in 3rd place, which means, of course, player 2 will select first in Double Jeopardy. Clues are a lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player 2, make a curiosity killed this animal. Player 1? Yeah, good. Player 1, you're in command of the board as Edward Gibbon was a captain in the Hampshire Grenadiers before writing The Decline and Fall of this empire. Okay, player 1? That's not it. Any other takers? Player 2. No, that's not right. Any other takers? Yes, player 3. You got it. Player 3, you start. A student at Sandhurst, he later served in British military intelligence before creating his British super spy. Okay, player 1. That's correct. Player 1, you start. A list of this planet's moons, including Oberon and Titania, reads like a who's who of Shakespeare. It's player 1. You got it. An illustrated book pairs Alexander Calder's artwork with the lyrics to his song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. It's player 1. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Okay, player 3. No, that's not right. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Player 2. Right you are. Great, you're back into it now. Player 2, you start. The book Whale Done applies the positive techniques used at this marine park to business and family life. Let's hear it, player 1. That is correct. All right, let's get back into this. Oprah has unlocked the This, a book by Rhonda Byrne about using positive visualization. Player 1? Good for you. Player 1, back to you. To cry these is to show insincere sorrow. It's player 1. Good. You get to pick again, player 1. Answer. The first of the 2 daily doubles. You are in the lead right now. How much are you going to wager, player 1? The clue. Lew Wallace served as a major general in this war before penning Ben-Hur. Congratulations, you're still in first, player 1. Player 1, pick again. This name for radio sources that are among the brightest and most distant objects in the universe was coined in 1964. Okay, player 1. That is correct. You get to pick again, player 1. Here's Jimmy with the clue.
In this type of trick play, the quarterback hands off to a running back, who hands off to a tight end going in the opposite direction.
Okay, player 1. Correct. Player 1, you pick again, please. As an example to her Russian subjects, she and her son Paul had themselves inoculated against smallpox in 1768. Let's hear it, player 1. Right. We return to you, player 1. To further the ambitions of her brother, her father, Pope Alexander VI, arranged several marriages for her. It's player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? Yes, player 2. No, that's not right. Anyone else? Okay, player 3. That's correct. All right, let's get back into this. Player 3 has control. Around 46 BC, Julius Caesar offended his countrymen by dedicating a statue to her. Let's hear it, player 1. No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Okay, player 3. That is correct. Select again. In November 1988, she was elected Prime Minister of Pakistan, becoming the first woman to head a modern Islamic nation. It's player 1. That's correct. Player 1, where do we start? In 1616, she and her husband John Rolfe traveled to England to help raise funds for the Virginia colonists. Okay, player 1. Yep. Player 1, pick again. His power of positive thinking begins, believe in yourself, have faith in your abilities. Let's hear it, player 1. No, sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the response we were looking for. Norman Vincent Peale. We return to you, player 1. Answer, the second daily double. And you have the lead. What are you going to wager? Here is your clue. This porcine phrase refers to something of undetermined value as a purchase. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. We return to you, player one. This Grecian fought at Salamis and Marathon. His 70 plays include The Oresteia and Prometheus Bound. It's player one. No, that's not right. Anyone else? Here's the correct response. Aeschylus. You again, player one. To see this NFL team's home games at FedEx Field, take a shuttle bus from the Landover Metro stop. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. Please pick again, player one. This Cowboys wide receiver of the 1990s is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. Player one, you pick again, please. He caught the catch on January 10th, 1982. Yes, player one? Right. Player one, back to you. On Cheers, Norm said it was this kind of world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear. Let's hear it, player one. You got it. Player one, pick again. Thriving through stress, like him conducting Ode to Joy while ill, is the idea in a book called The Hymn Factor. Yes, player one? That's not it. Any other takers? Here's the correct response. Ludwig van Beethoven. Player one, you pick again, please. You can have a roaring good time watching this meteor shower that put on an historic show in 1833. Yes, player one? Good. Player one, you pick again, please. This author of Starship Troopers was a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. It's player one. Correct. Please pick again, player one. In 1979, these were discovered around Jupiter. Saturn has them too. Player one? That is correct. We return to you, player one. This cup representing Canadian football supremacy was donated by the descendant of a tea namesake. Yes, player one? Good. Player 1, choose again. To look guilty but smug is to look like the cat that ate this bird. Let's hear it, Player 1. Sorry. Any other takers? Yes, Player 2. That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, Player 3. You are correct. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. The Milky Way is classified as this type of galaxy from the way its arms sweep around. Yes, Player 1? Correct. Sorry, Player 2. Your score is not on the positive side, so you will not be joining us for Final Jeopardy. We've got the Final Jeopardy round here for you, and today it features this category. Geometry. Please enter your wager. Let's see what it is. Here's the clue. It's an ellipse with an eccentricity of 0. Let's see your response. How much do you add to your total with that correct response? What did you say? And this correct response will add how much to your score? Congratulations, Player 1. You are our new champion.